Hello and welcome. I am Gimba Umar. Tonight, President Buhari asked Nigerians to remain hopeful of seeing a new nation as he felicitates with Christians on Easter. The Minister of Transportation, Chukwuka Amechi, distanced himself from the huge cash haul recovered from a luxury apartment in Ikoyi area of Lagos. The community in Kwara State cries out for justice over the alleged killing of a man by the police. And at least 45 persons killed in Syria after a car bomb rips through a convoy of evacuees from government-held towns near Aleppo.
And on business news tonight, Naira is expected to strengthen next week following planned increase in dollar sales to retail currency traders by the central bank.
And in sports news, Nigerian champions Enugu Rangers crash out of the 2017 CAF Confederation Cup after losing 3-0 to Zesco United of Zambia.
We begin tonight with the President's Easter message to Christians as they mark the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. President Buhari has asked Nigerians to keep faith with his administration as it works to change the Nigerian story for the good of all. He made this pledge in his goodwill message to felicitate with Christians in the country. For the President, Nigerians must rediscover the values of peaceful coexistence, social justice, religious tolerance, dignity of labor and patriotism to evolve a better nation. He congratulates Christians on what he describes as this historic occasion, signifying the triumph of good over evil, light over darkness, redemption over condemnation and hope over despair, asking Nigerians to live peacefully with one another and do their utmost to make Nigeria better. He adds, quote, "In the almost 2 years of this administration, we have worked hard to meet the expectations of Nigerians by improving security, especially in the northeast, sustaining campaign against corruption, and have taken steps to revitalize the economy." The President restates the determination of his government to continue with the fight against terrorism, sustain the peace in the Niger Delta, and restore peace in other parts of the country. The Federal Road Safety Commission is deploying over 25,000 regular and special marshals, patrol vehicles and ambulances to manage critical areas of the nation's highways. Road safety officials from Lagos and Ogun states are also collaborating with men of the National Emergency Management Agency to caution motorists along that route ahead of the Easter celebrations.
Every festive season, major roads in Lagos State get congested. Last-minute buyers storm the markets and malls, while some others travel for the period of the holidays. The Federal Road Safety Corps in Lagos and Ogun states take positions on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway to bring traffic sanity.
Yeah, we have a particular black spot at MFM. Actually, we've contacted the Julius Berger that is constructing the road, and they are trying to put palliatives for us. But meanwhile, we are managing the traffic to ensure that people... It's the only thing that traffic is moving, but it's only slow, because there's a particular portion, but even as at now, they are going there to make sure that they fix it, so that even by today and also by tomorrow, because they just want to do a palliative effort till they'll make sure that the whole road there'll be free flow of traffic.
FRSC is working in collaboration with the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA.
We have to complement their effort in providing emergency services and provide search and rescue operation when incidences arises. That's why our men are deployed in the major flashpoints to ensure that immediate response is given to accident victims.
Your life is precious, your life is important. The moment you tell your loved ones that you are going somewhere, you tell them bye-bye. What they expect from you is that for you to call them back, that you arrive safely. And that's the only message you want to tell motorists, that it is their own responsibility anytime they use the highway to ensure that their lives are safe, the lives of other road users are equally safe. And the only way they can do that is to drive safely.
It is envisaged that vehicular traffic will be higher before the Easter celebrations, but the road marshals insist they are up to the task. Loretta Chiogo, Channels Television News.
Meanwhile, traders in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, have complained about poor patronage of their goods and services as residents prepare for the Easter celebration. Some of the traders who spoke to Channels Television attributed the situation to the economic downturn in the economy.
Wuse Market, a place where buying and selling thrives during the festive period, now experiencing a low turnout of people. Unlike previous festivities, this year's Easter celebration is occasioned by a drop in the prices of food and household goods.
Not matter of added the price of the goods. Even though you give them cost price, they won't buy. Because of what? They are crying. No money. Children, even anyone you tell them they will be crying. People will walk from market from morning to night. Madam, are you not buying? I didn't see what happened. What's happened is because of money. You can't see even new money in the market. Any money you see is old money. They have solidifying the whole Nigeria currency. Government are not trying. They are not trying. Let me say it in this way. They are not trying. They should come up and help the masses.
Residents who took time out to shop for Easter expressed satisfaction with the prices of goods. A bag of rice, which used to sell for 23,000 naira, now sells for 17,000 naira, showing a drop in the price of some goods and steadiness in others.
Compared to like last month, the prices are okay for now. Like initially bag of rice is about 23,000, but now it's going for like 17,500, which is reasonable. But the funny thing there is that the local rice is more expensive than the foreign rice.
For me, I'm not really frequenting the market, so I really don't know if it, but it's relatively okay. I bought tomatoes of 300, which was not too expensive. Then the meat still, I just bought a meat of 2,000 there, so I feel it's okay personally. What I actually observe is the demand is really low. You can see the market. This is not what we expected. It's as a result of probably the economic challenges we are facing. So the market is not as busy as it used to be, especially when it comes to festive period like this.
It's normal to experience a downturn in business activities in the nation's capital during holidays like this, and residents will be hoping that they can make the most of the holiday with their friends and family.
In the spirit of Easter, the Catholic Bishop of Yola Diocese, Bishop Dami Mamza, has facilitated the freedom of 25 inmates at the Yola prisons by paying up their fines. Bishop Mamza, during a visit to the facility, called on the federal government to give more attention to reforming and rehabilitating prisoners. The cleric also presented food items to the remaining inmates for the Easter celebration.
We have decided to pay the fines for 25 prisoners so that they can be freed, because there are so many of them that are here, and it's not much money that is needed in order to set somebody free. Somebody given the option of probably fine of 2,000 naira, 3,000 naira in order to be free, but the person doesn't have the money, but he has to spend 3, 4, 5 years in prison. So we compiled the list, and then we're able to choose 25 and then set them free. Government should really give the prisoners attention, and especially in terms of reformation, the kind of the training that being done here. The different prisons should be well equipped with training materials that will be able, so that those training them or reforming them will be able to use them effectively, so that when they get out, they will be very useful to the society and to their communities.
Moving on to other stories now, as the controversy over who owns the huge sum of money uncovered in a luxury apartment in the Ikoyi area of Lagos State continues, the Minister of Transportation, Mr. Rotimi Amechi, has denied any connection to the cash. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, this week recovered $43 million, 23 million naira and 27,000 pounds following a tip-off by a whistleblower. In a statement issued from his media officer, Mr. Amechi dismissed claims that the said funds recovered belongs to him, adding that he does not know who owns the money or the apartment where it was found. He explains, quote, "For clarity and emphasis, Rotimi Amechi is not the owner of the $43 million and the Ikoyi apartment in which the money was recovered from." The discovery came just days after the anti-graft agency announced the recovery of 447,000 euros, that would be 547,000 euros, $21,000 and 5.6 million naira from a bureau d'échange operator in Balogun Market area in Lagos. In the meantime, a federal high court in Lagos has ordered that the funds be temporarily forfeited to the federal government, and the Rivers State government earlier had said that the recovered funds belonged to the state government and has asked the federal government to return it. The chairman of the Presidential Advisory Committee Against Corruption, Professor Issa Sage, is responding to this, and he's proposing a 5% cut for agencies for any monies recovered by them from looters. Professor Sage, who spoke to Channels Television in an interview, is of the opinion that this will be a motivating factor for agencies and will also help them to fund the operations.
In a situation where government is having very, very major fund scarcity, could be an easier way of funding operations, provided it is strictly controlled. I personally favor some percentage, maybe 5% or so, of any funds recovered by an agency being plowed back in that agency. But we have to be very careful that it's not misused, that it's actually plowed back into the operations of that agency rather than going into individual pockets. So in principle, I support it, and we have to work towards that. In the last 1 year, the FCC has won about 200 cases. So it is this mainly these politically exposed persons' cases that there's been some problem. Our response is that situations like this should be envisaged. All the lost cases have been appealed against. There's a rigorous review going on of both the presentation of the EFCC and the other agencies and the actual judgments themselves to see where the problem lies so that they are not repeated, and where there was no problem to ensure that the appeal succeeds. So we have to look at it generally from the point of long distance race. There will be setbacks now and then, but the important thing is to learn from your setbacks and work hard to ensure that they are not repeated.
The gruesome murder of a 30-year-old vulcanizer, one Suleiman Yakubu in Ilorin, the Kwara state capital, appears to have unsettled the peace in the community. The residents are accusing the state police command of being behind the death of their son and want the perpetrators brought to book.
This is Ago Ayekale, Ga-Kombi community in Ilorin, South Local Government Area of Kwara State. The community looks quiet, perhaps due to the recent raid by the State Police Command in search of cultists that they claim have been terrorizing the community. For the family of late Mr. Suleiman Yakub, a 30-year-old vulcanizer who was killed allegedly by men of the Kwara State Police Command in the course of the operation, things may no longer be the same again for them. The expression on their faces show pain, sorrow, dejection over the loss of their brother, son, and father.
Then just arrest the boy. They ask for money. Those boys say they don't get money. That's why they can't shoot the boy. So the boy can't die.
The family is calling on the Inspector General of Police to come to their aid and bring all the officers responsible for this act to justice.
I'm begging our elders to help me. Make this sufferness not go like that.
2 weeks, they come to collect money. They not give them money. They arrest 9 people. The community went to bail them. About 36,000 naira they collect from them. As they come, they say, you used to come every time. What happened? What did we do?
The State Police Command has promised that justice will prevail as the incident will be thoroughly investigated.
In a bid to arresting some of them, there was firing, and eventually it was discovered that somebody was shot. And we are investigating the matter. The fact remains that a life has been lost, which is on its own is regrettable. The policemen that went there on that day, on that duty, were all arrested and are detained, and they are undergoing investigation as I speak.
The family is calling on relevant authorities to ensure that the promise of justice by the police will not end up as a mere lip service.
In part two, after the break, academics and politicians discuss ways of tackling the challenge of Almajiri education system in Nigeria's northern region. Stay with us.